Scott? No, it's okay. Scott, yeah. Photographs, high, low, behind, the whole shooting gallery. And listen to what's being asked as well while you're... Okay? Where's Keely? Do you take photographs? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, you're going to have to get in closer though, Keely. You won't get quality sound there. Sorry lads, you need to back off now lads, the press guys.
I've been told no.
Sorry.
Look, could I...
Sorry, leaves are in lads, okay. Just 2 seconds lads. Okay, perfect.
Sorry. Oh lads, I'll take a handy there now. Yeah. Can you mind it, this chap here now? Yeah. Which is himself at the corner, is it?
Congrats.
Thanks indeed.
Okay,
look, could I just maybe first of all say that, look, obviously I've seen the tallies for Cork South Central and North Central in the first instance, and with Paul Brigade, who's done exceptionally well in Cork North Central, and the entire team there, with Tony Fitzgerald and Sandra Murphy Kelleher in Cork South Central. Again, it does look like I'll do very well here on the tally. Seamus McGrath and Margaret Keneally, and very pleased with that. I want to thank my wife Mary. When I was travelling the length and breadth of the country, Mary was leading the charge in Cork South Central out every day, morning, noon and night, with Micheal, with Ava and with Killian, with my brothers, sisters and my nephews and nieces, and wide circle of friends, tremendous canvassers. They work day and night on my behalf, and I thank them sincerely. I want to thank all the Fianna Fail candidates across the length and breadth of the country. It takes great courage to stand and to go into the public arena. It's not easy, but we are competing in every single constituency across this country. And I want to pay tribute to our volunteers. I think we ran probably the most effective and impactful on-the-ground campaign, knocking on doors everywhere and in every constituency. So I pay tribute to the Fianna Fail organisation, to our membership and to our volunteers. And it seems, I mean it's early days yet, but we look like that we will certainly exceed the exit poll somewhat, and that is heartening to us. And also, again, it's very, very early days, but we do see a route to a very strong finish here in this election. But I will predict that we will go into the early hours of tomorrow morning. I think we could go to Monday before a lot of these final seats in many constituencies will be decided, because we have a very competitive and fragmented electoral situation, let's be honest. Multiple parties now, small and different scale, and independents.
And what does it look like in terms of a route to government? Because that's what this election campaign has been about for you, stability. Where do we get stability from this election, and what is the route back to government? Is it yourselves, Fine Gael and the Social Democrats?
Well, I think there is a very clear route back to government, although it's not fully determined, because a lot will depend on those final seats that I've spoken about. You know, we've looked, all we have at the moment are tallies of first comes, which in the majority of cases will be reasonably accurate. But then you have to work out geography, you will have to work out eliminations, you'll have to work out the distribution of surpluses, and it will be many, many counts later before we really are in a position to look at the destination of sort of the final 2 seats and 5-seaters, or the final 2 seats and some 4-seaters. And geography will be particularly important in the transfer area.
But does it look...
and so it's just what I'm basically saying, Pascal, it's a bit too early yet to call the exact type of government that will be formed, the composition of the next government. But I think there will be a sufficiency of seats, it seems to me, that aligns with the core principles that I articulated at the outset of this campaign and throughout the campaign, around the pro-enterprise economy, around a positively pro-European Union position, a government that will strongly push for home ownership, and around parties that are transparently democratic in how they conduct their affairs. And also, you know, I acknowledge there are many people out there who are suffering, who are under pressure, notwithstanding the optics of the economy. It's not just the optics, the economy, you know, in terms of statistics, is doing quite well, but many people are feeling pressure because of cost of living. The housing issue is still unfinished business. to be frank, and we have a lot more houses to build, and that was a challenge, I think, in this election.
Does it look now, though, the way the results are stacking up, or appear to be stacking up, that we are heading towards a coalition of Fianna Fail, Fine Gael, and perhaps the Social Democrats?
Well, again, I think you're just racing a bit too far ahead, Pascal, because I genuinely would have to caution, that the final seats can't be determined. I recall 2020. I remember late on the evening of the count day, we looked to be in a very good position for closing the deal on 8 seats on that occasion. We didn't close any of them by the following day. So you will understand my weariness about really final predictions as to the final destination of seats.
Is Christmas too optimistic? My final question for me, is Christmas too optimistic for the formation of the next government?
Well, I think it remains to be seen. I mean, political parties will appoint negotiating teams. There'll have to be discussions. And the last time, I would like to think that the Dáil could do it faster than it did the last time. But it will be challenging. This is not easy. And there will be a lot, whatever group of parties engage in discussions or in negotiations, it will mean very detailed work will have to be done in terms of a programme for government.
Why do the polls consistently underrepresent Fianna Fáil?
Maybe you could ask the pollsters that.
But
I think there is an issue.
Why are there shy Fianna Fáil repeatedly?
But don't be blaming the shy voters. No. I know, in fairness. I mean, look, I'm not going to go on about polls, but I could have had a better evening last night if the polls got a bit more accurate.
Well, you did come out, though, as the favourite to be Taoiseach out of that poll.
Thank you.
Did you take note of that?
Only this morning.
And is that where you hope you're heading back to the Taoiseach?
Well, look, it's too early. It's just far too early. And
have you been talking to Simon Hart?
I mean, the polls give Fianna Fáil heart attacks all the time. But I haven't spoken to anybody yet. It's too early. And I think we should respect the process. Believe me, there'll be a lot of twists and turns before this is over. And I'm even going through the permutations myself at home in different constituencies. I'm bringing a few candidates, and you pick up the local knowledge, as to where a particular candidate who's below you is located. Geography will play a part in sort of some of those transfers. But what I can say, though, from a Fianna Fáil perspective, is that we will win new seats. We have new TDs now will be elected, and that's always positive for a political party, that there's new blood coming in as well, and a fresh injection of young blood coming into the party, and that's very positive. And also, there's two ways of looking at this. With a few bounces of the ball, we could do quite well here. But I'm very conscious that a lot will depend on the transfers.
Can I just ask you about the celebrity candidate strategy? Because do you think maybe it didn't really work in Galway when it came to Ronnie Shoiga?
Well, I don't like that term, celebrity candidates. I mean, Grania in herself is a substantive person. I think she ran a very spirited campaign. She went through convention and won the majority of votes at convention, selected by a Fianna Fáil convention in Galway West. Not an easy thing to do at any time, but she did that. And John Connolly, a very strong candidate as well. I mean, I canvassed for both of them on the one day, and I came away feeling both campaigns were kind of humming. So it's not easy when a stalwart like Eamon O'Keefe pulls out or retires. Eamon put in extraordinary contribution to Irish politics as a minister and as a TD, and his shoes were big to fill now. They were very big shoes to fill, and so we're kind of, in one level, happy that we look to be in a position to win a seat there, and Grania has made a contribution to that. That turns out to be because I haven't looked at the exact details, so there's a long way to go there yet.
This is the first time it looks like that Fianna Fáil will be the largest party, according to Gavin Riley from Virgin Media News, in terms of first preference votes. How does that feel, given how far Fianna Fáil came from 2011 to 2024, albeit in a very different political
It's a very
landscape?
different environment now, but it has been a very strong effort on behalf of the volunteers across the length and breadth of the country. I mean, I have been sustained by some great people around the country from 2011 onwards, and there's a great belief in many of those whose families belong to Fianna Fáil historically. They didn't give up, and they believed in the founding fathers of the party and the values of the party, and it is a different environment, and in that context it feels, but I'm always...
It feels good. You can say that.
Well, Mary always says I'm half glass, half full, but part of me feels we're only another 2% away from even better results. So that's the way it works. But it is very competitive, and a lot of the independents, some of them came from our gene pool. The late Noel Whelan's coined phrase, and you look at that too, and that kind of just nudges us a bit down in some constituencies. So look, it feels good. Of course it does. If that turns out to be the case. And if Gavin Riley says that's the case, then it must be the case.
And there's some Fianna Fail gene pool TDs. Would you be looking to them first off to government with?
No, I think again it's far too early to say what's going to happen there. I think we do have to respect the process. It's just all we have is tallies of first comes, and so we have a distance to go before we know the final.
Very briefly, any reflection on the Green? What seems to be a meltdown for the party?
Look, on election day, I want to pay tribute to all those who served in the last Dáil and who have lost seats, who may lose seats. I think the Green Party made a very positive contribution to government. I think some good, constructive, positive policies emerged from the last government. I think the last government had to weather very significant external shocks from COVID-19, and I think the long shadow of COVID is over this election too. And I'll always remember Angela Merkel saying at the commencement of COVID, she equated COVID to a world war in terms of its long-term impacts on politics, society and so on. And that probably hasn't been analysed to the degree that it should. But if you look at the cost of living crisis, it has its genesis within COVID. If you look at healthcare, where a lot of waiting lists grew dramatically because of the emergency that COVID was. And there were a lot of impacts on society from it. And we weathered it, and we came through it, and then we had the war in Ukraine. So the Greens, to their credit, didn't buckle over the 4.5 years. And I said earlier, being in government can be difficult for any political party. It is to the credit of the Greens that they went into government. We had challenges, we had different priorities as three political parties. But this government went full term, and I think Ireland was for the better of that.
How important would it be to try and form that coalition before inauguration day?
Well, I think we have to form it, to be honest with you, in the best interest of Ireland in the first instance, which means the programme for government has to be right. And I know now from the last government that there has to be real clarity around the programme for government, that everybody knows what it says on the tin, and there can't be any deviation from that if we get into that position. Thank you very much.
Ja, kan sa bhíonn tú faoi na todhchaí do Fianna Fail?
Well, ag an bouta seo, time dóchasach, agus bála mo bhéchas a gháil do bhuiil agus cosfaointe Fianna Fail ar fud na tíre a bhí gobar go dtíon déhalach donna go stálach ar son ar éarpóirí, tá dalmhar ar an scéal go méid síocháin a gcuing níos breise in ar an lé, beag taptaí dála nu ag tapta stoc, glúí nu ag tapta stoc sa fartaí, agus tá sé ró lua bheith crín ó bheith darafach fin tora, ag tá tórán agus tá dalmhar an scéal go méid a bhad níos láidir ná mar an pobl bretheh a réir agus beag níos má fótaí a gcuing ná mar a bhí árán ihe a réir, so time buíochta son agus ihe dachar a bhamanné a réir.
So go raibh chuna sa bhíonn tú faoi ortaí a dhéanamh beonis.
Bhna?
Beo,
yeah.
nish. Yeah. No 6-1.
6-1. Tommy, dúirt in éigeal 6-1 bit.
6-1? Yeah. Went to Comporta Clishin?
Tommy Comporta Clishin,
okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Then we listen, so. Got a million. Got a million about it.
Right there across the street. Well, I did actually ask her.
Thank you.
He's doing okay, I think.
Yeah.
No.